Straight from the mud, now it's time to get the pie. Swipe, here's some blood, you can see it in my up, I thank God. Straight from the mud, now it's time to get the pie. Swipe, here's some blood, you can see it in my up, I thank God. Straight from the mud, now it's time to get the pie. Swipe, here's some blood, you can see it in my up, I thank God. Straight from the mud, now it's time to get the pie. Swipe, here's some blood, you can see it in my
All right, family, thank you so much for your patience. Give me just one moment because I just realized I forgot to send the link to Cody. Y'all bear with me. And for those who are tuning in from Rumble, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, thank you. Thank you to everybody who is tuning in on the different multi-stream platforms. Thank you to all of the new DzPeepz. Shout out to the new subscribers. And shout out to those who have been following me on Rumble. Give me one moment. And for those who are not, for those who are still on YouTube, I'm going to drop the link in the chat so that you guys can come over to Rumble. Because part of, give me 1 second. There it goes. Oh wait, no, this is the Rumble app. Good Lord, y'all bear with me. I just realized I'm on the wrong app. I'm in the Rumble app and not the YouTube one. But for those who have not come over to Rumble, go ahead and make your profile because Rumble's going to be the platform where I'm going to be doing the lives going forward. And I've got, I don't know if this is due to the exposure to mold or if this is an actual cold. So y'all bear with me with the sniffling and sneezing. Give me 1 second. It's weird how this is looking. Y'all give me a second. Okay, so I want to just double check to make sure it is showing up. Trying to make sure it's showing up on Instagram. Give me 1 moment. Okay, let me check from my other page. Y'all let me know if you can hear me okay with 963 hertz music in the background. If you can hear me okay, please put, okay, so yeah, it is showing live on Instagram. Okay, so let me know if you can hear me okay, or if I need to turn it down. So I want to make sure Cody was able to get in, because we're gonna do basically we're just celebrating the end of Pride Month. Cody's gonna share with us his experience in transitioning from female to male and what he went through. For those who haven't, let me see if YouTube will let me put this link in the chat. For those who have not seen the movie They Them on Peacock, you definitely want to watch that movie. It is an amazing story of different types of members of the LGBTQIA community, from, you know, gay, bi, trans, all of that. And very empowering. I will say for those who are heterosexual, there are a couple of intimacy scenes that low-key, in my opinion, are like pretty much like soft porn. But if it makes you uncomfortable, just beware of that they do have a couple of those scenes. But it's a very good movie. It's very empowering, and It just gives you an inside look. Okay, there's the link. An inside look on what it's like to be a part of the community and what it's like to be treated differently. So there is the link. Again, it's on Peacock. It's called They/Them. Very, very good movie. And let me get to the comments here in just a second. Shout out to everybody who's been signing the petition. Thank you so much. Okay, so Cody's in. Cody, I'm going to bring you on stage, but mute you just for now. Were you ready to be brought on stage? Wait. It's muting. Did you mute yourself? It won't let me unmute. It says that you muted yourself. I think you might have accidentally hit mute. Okay, you got it? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm just going to temporarily mute you, but so for those who have been signing the petition, thank you. Like I said, the movie is really good, and it allows you to, again, see from our perspective what it's like to be ridiculed, to not be able to be free to be, which that's actually the name of my new network that I'm developing. It's called Free to Be. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to have to reposition us on the stage. Give me 1 second. Yeah, there we go. That way we can see. So again, shout out to everyone who's been signing the petition. The goal was to reach 750 signatures was the first milestone. And I can see that we're at 768. So thank you to everyone who has been signing and sharing the petition. Of course, the next goal is 1,000 signatures, and we're going to keep going until we get to 20,000, and then we can actually use the petition in court to hold YouTube and Google accountable for allowing global cyberbullying and gang stalking. The fact that that's happened to me several times on this platform. And the fact that I have all the reports as well documented. So thank you, because that is something that we do need to continue to fight for them to stop doing. I've even contacted the YouTube Partnership Program, because just because I was able to get certain people's videos taken down doesn't mean that YouTube is holding people accountable in the way that they really should be. That are allowing to do that. Because like on my channel, I'll do roast, which are, satire, comedy, making fun of the real rejects of YouTube, including the geriatric real rejects of YouTube. But it's never in a trying to make someone feel horrible. Even when people come for me and I check them, I'll check you, but I'm not trying to make you feel like a piece of shit or doxing people's information. So it's very important that we continue to get the signatures. The only way to hold YouTube accountable, honestly, is to take them to court. I mean, otherwise, they're going to probably just look at it like, oh, just more people complaining. No, you guys have a platform, and you are allowing CCs to violate your own guidelines, which is what I told them and sent screenshots. And at that point, they had to take my report serious, because I'm like, how do you have a system for us to report videos and activity that goes against community guidelines, but you don't hold the channels accountable? So at that point, they had to, because it's like, I'm sending you screenshots of your own policy that you are not doing anything about. So with the more signatures we get, the better it will be for when that day does come for us to go to court, and for me to be able to prove that thousands of people have signed this petition who have experienced the same thing. I mean, because it's not just content creators. There's subscribers that endure bullying. There's children even that endure bullying online, and it has led some to wanting to take their own lives. So it's a very serious thing. Cyberbullying and gang stalking, people stalking you in real life, people tracking your location, people trying to show up at places where, you know, they know you're going to be. All that stuff is illegal. Just like people doxing personal information, identity information. So the best way, in my opinion, to handle a lot of this stuff is legally. When you start hitting people's pockets, they start shutting the fuck up. And when you start hitting pockets of corporations like YouTube and Google and, you know, let the stuff go viral, if it's not a good look for them, they will take it serious. So thank you to everybody who has been signing the petition. And for those who want to know how to share the petition, scroll, if you're on your laptop or mobile browser, scroll to the bottom, click where it says share this petition, and you can share to Facebook, WhatsApp, X, formerly known as Twitter, copy the link, or send via email. So again, thank you to everyone who has been signing and sharing the petition. It is appreciated. Now, for those who would like to support my channel, no, I don't have, because more people have been asking about super chats and super stickers and memberships. I don't have any of that enabled on my channel because I don't want YouTube taking large percentages of what I put work into to create on my platform. So if you would like to send a donation, you can send it to my Cash App or Venmo. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And if you're on the YouTube app, it's also pinned in the chat. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way in, family. Hit that like button. If you haven't hit the like button already, hit it now, because the likes ain't lining up with the viewers. So let's get the likes up. Neptune, Pisces, Grand Rising, good to see you. Yeah, I've had to take a break because I've had a lot going on in my real world, especially with my health, which I'm speaking healing over. Neptune Pisces said, I'm sad that Pride Month is going to be over. You know what? Just because Pride Month is ending doesn't mean anything, you guys. Like, you do realize you can still celebrate Pride Month all year long, just like I celebrate Melanin Excellence all year long. I'm proud 24/7 to be openly bisexual. So, it's cool. Said, I think I need to move out of my hometown because I ain't got... Child, move out your hometown. And it's 2:22 a.m. on the clock. Let me document the other... When I tell you I've been seeing so many angel numbers, it's insane. I will be trying to share those with you as long as time permits. But yeah, I tell anybody, move out your hometown. Hell, get away from people that you've been around that ain't doing nothing different than they were doing 10, 15, 20 years ago, and go where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated. If I know anything about what it feels like to be excluded because of living in your truth, that's why a big reason why I'll never return back to my hometown. Because back home in Nebraska, you know, people are still trying to be conservative. I mean, they're a little bit progressive, but not really. The fact that you can't even get married to the same sex in the state of Nebraska, and that you have to travel to Council Bluffs, which is technically Iowa, where all the casinos are at, is not progressive at all. So I always tell people, if you want to live in your truth and you want to be around people who are like you, go where people are like you. Go where you are celebrated. Fuck people that don't accept you. Go around the ones that love you for who you are unconditionally, and only be around them. They're the only ones that are worthy of your energy. And again, for those who are listening from YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, do not forget to follow me on Rumble. In fact, let me pull up my Rumble channel. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's the weather, the mold, or both, but I have been sneezing uncontrollably all day. It's quite annoying. And the runny nose and itchy throat and watery eyes. Give me 1 second. Trying to pull up my Rumble channel. There we go. Okay. So let me bring this down, and then I'll bring it up on the screen. So yeah, thank y'all for bearing with me with whatever this is. Sniffles, allergies, mold, whatever. Just seems like mold is a continued epidemic in Houston. It doesn't matter what part of town you're at. It's really horrible how bad the mold issue is out here. They really need to fix that. Okay, so there it is. For those who have not, do not forget to click follow and subscribe. You can subscribe to my channel. Shout out to the 2 new subscribers. Thank you. Cody, I believe you're one of them as well. Shout out to the 85 followers. The goal for me on Instagram, I know I'm getting tired, on Rumble is to reach my first 100 followers. Then I can join their partnership program. They have a partnership program just like YouTube does. And like I said, Rumble is an uncensored free platform. So what I do plan on doing, it won't be during this live because of the time, but the next time I go live, I do want to do a watch party. And let me bring it up. Okay, here we go. So this is the movie I was telling you guys about that you should definitely tune in to. They, Them on Peacock. It celebrates, okay, you know what, this is incredibly annoying. That's dumb shit like that. Because I didn't want it to start playing the damn clip. Regardless, so watch this movie. It definitely allows you to get like an inside look into what it's like living in your world being gay, bisexual, or trans. And the focus is on all of that. And I love that it is so diverse, not just with ethnicities, but the types of sexualities that are a part of the LGBTQ community. And for those who don't know what that stands for, lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgender, and then all the other additional acronyms. You know, of course, there's pansexual, there's asexual, there's so many different sexualities. The only sexuality we do not accept are minor attracted persons, that disgusting cover for pedophiles. That will never be a part of our community, the rainbow community. But this movie is about conversion therapy, which that's what Cody's going to talk to us about, is his experience enduring conversion therapy, where basically they make people that are part of the community go to these camps to de-gay them, or to try to make them not like the same sex, or to try to make them not want to transition so that they can put them inside of their little bigoted box. And it's a very empowering movie. Now, there are, of course, moments that are sad. There's a part where they hook up the gay football player to actual jumper cables. And that was their version of shock therapy. Like, putting jumper cables on the man's nipples is inhumane. It's insane that people had to endure that. And Cody, unfortunately, has had that experience as well. So Cody will talk to us about his experience with that and how he overcame it and now is able to live in his truth. But this is an amazing movie, and you will end up hating Kevin Bacon by the end of it. I'm just telling you. Well, not him. You'll hate his character. You will definitely hate his character, but it's a very, very good movie about just coming to terms with your sexuality and being okay with it. Truly living free. Like I said, my network I'm starting is called Free to Be, and it's specifically focused on our community, a free-form, safe place for all of us to come to and be able to live in our truth and speak up and speak out. So I think that's RG. Thank you for tuning in on Rumble. Thank you, family. Miss Williams, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so let's get into... Oh, wait, I forgot to hit the link. Oh, all the real rejects of YouTube, especially the geriatric ones. Hit that link, okay? Hit the link. Po little think tanks. Y'all make sure y'all visit betterhelp.com. Get your mental health together. I think if more people focus on their mental health, they'd be less focused on bullshit and calling themselves trying to come for platforms like mine, I am not going to stop speaking my truth. I need people to understand that everywhere, whether it's about sexuality, the satanic agenda with all of just the disgusting, child sex trafficking and human trafficking and people being held as, sacrificial lambs for satanic agendas. None of that's going to stop. It's just that right now I've got a lot going on in my real world. But for those who think they're going to stop me from speaking my truth, I think by now you should see that you don't have any power here. So y'all might want to hit the link. Hit that link. Hit advice. It is the third webpage over. Scroll down to categories and find your category for whatever it is that you may be dealing with. I'm seeing a whole lot of this on YouTube. A whole lot of symptoms of untreated bipolar disorder amongst not just CCs, but troll subscribers as well. Y'all need to help. Get better help. Okay? Get the help you need. Better help. BetterHelp.com. Hit that link. All the po little tink tanks. When Riri put that comment and said, I think I need to hit the link, I fell out laughing. I said, Riri, because I know Riri be popping off. But when she put that comment, all I could do was laugh. I said, because contrary to what I think sometimes y'all do be listening to me, because she literally wrote the comment the exact way I say it. She said, I think I need to hit the link. I think I'm the poor little think tank. I said, child. Oh, that had me laughing so much. But it's okay, Riri. Look, it's all love here. And we all love one another. And I understand you be defending me. I do want to address this real quick before I bring Cody on the stage. Let me just put this out there for everybody so assumptions can stop. There has never been a time that myself as a content creator has ever sent people to other people's channels to watch their content or defend me or any of that. If any of my subscribers are doing that, they are doing that by their own choice. I have way too much going on in the real world to even be worried about that shit. I don't care about people talking shit. I really don't. Like, it has no effect on my life because I'm actually living real life and dealing with real life. So no, I'm not sending her because people were saying that, oh, she's sending Riri and other CCs. Nah, people just tired of y'all lying and talking shit. And they're choosing to do that on their own. It's definitely not me. Because think about it. I don't even watch y'all's channels. So, and I'm not Jaguar. Like, Jaguar be doing that shit. Her and her real Garbage Pail clan members, they do that trolling shit. We don't do that over here. We've never done it over here. Anytime me and my subscribers pull up on anyone's channel, we are there to support and only for that. Not with the bullshit, not with the drama. Ain't nobody got time for that. I definitely don't. So I wanted to make that clear. No, it ain't never me telling people to go do that shit. If they're watching your content and they don't like the shit you saying about me, it's because that's how they feel. And I ain't got no control over what people do, but to hear people saying, oh, this content creator saying you're sending, man, fuck that shit. Anybody got time for that? Like, I'm up here, still trying to make business moves, even with the health challenges I got going on. I really don't have time for that. That's why I ain't even been on YouTube. So, Andrew, what's up, family? Good to see you, my good brother. So, yeah, that ain't what it is. It's not me telling nobody to go to your channel. I don't care about y'all's channels. You should see that by now. You don't see me in the chat. You don't see me in the comments because I don't give a fuck. So we're moving on past that. Now, I want to address this. Gratitude. And the reason I want to address this will help a lot of you trolls and you real rejects of YouTube as well that need help with your mental health that refuse to go get it. Gratitude attracts abundance. And I'm very grateful for healing spiritually and growth because this is an energy I've been focused on no matter what challenges I've been dealing with. And I feel that if more people are aware, it could help raise the overall vibration, which is actually my spiritual purpose as a high vibrational high priestess. Instead of focusing on what you might think is a challenge or a difficulty in your life, start thanking Source, the Most High, Universe, whatever title you want to give it. I call God the Most High God. Start thanking the Most High God for what you have, even if you don't have anything, or you feel you don't have anything. Even if your life isn't where you thought it would be or where you want it to be. Be grateful for what you have, because there is always somebody going through something worse than you. And if there are people going through worse situations than you and they can still find a way to put a positive spin on life, then so can you. And I want to remind us of that. Literally, gratitude attracts abundance. If you are not attracting into your life what you want, it's either because God's protecting you, a lot of delays, and when you start experiencing tower moments where shit starts falling apart or things start going left, trust me when I say, from my own experience, it is divine protection from something that you cannot see or that you may not even be aware of. Just like certain connections, if it doesn't work out, that's divine protection, or it may not be time yet. So what I was talking actually with Cody about earlier is that my current journey that I'm on has been a huge test of my faith and patience. And I'm learning it. I'm learning patience more, and it is increasing my faith, even though it's frustrating. It is. It can be very frustrating dealing with the physical aspects of what I go through, and then to have people who are complete strangers that don't know me, don't know anything about me, make such negative comments about it on this very platform. If it wasn't for the fact that this is so serious, I would say it's laughable, but it's not even laughable. It's quite pathetic. Because like my homeboy that we recently reconnected, he was like, I have known you for over 12 years. And the thing I know about you is that you always work. You always take care of yourself. You're spotlessly clean. And you've had a lot of medical challenges. And he had to remind me, like, stop worrying about these people on YouTube. They don't even know you. I know you. Just like my cousin told me, just like my second mom told me. And I have to often remember that. Because as a content creator, it does get difficult when it's so many people that are grouping together to try to come against you. But like I told you guys, you obviously have to be a very powerful person for groups of people to come together to try to bring you down or try to stop you. So what that's telling me is my channel and my voice are reaching higher levels than I realized. And I don't need to care about what people that don't know me in real life think. Like, I really had to evaluate that, especially during the time that I've been off YouTube. Why am I even giving a fuck about what, like, these are people that have never had a conversation with me. They've never met me in person. They don't know shit about what I go through. Meanwhile, my homeboy was with me that day where we had to keep stopping because I kept bleeding. He's been there in the past when I've been in and out the hospital for this very issue. And he's worried. Everybody's like worried that I have cancer. And I'm like, I'm not worried. Whatever it is, I am healed already. And as I continue to speak healing, I will receive it. This healing requires medical attention, which I am seeking even now. Because I got some information regarding some possible other, medical assistance to get things moving so that this is no longer a part of my life. And I just want to thank those who truly do support me. And that's why I was glad when I saw the gratitude on the screen. Because if I were to focus on all the negativity, think about it, these people are already in a low vibration. So how can someone in a low vibration plot against me and succeed? You can't even reach me. Because my energy transcends yours. You're in the lower place. And if you really want to be technical, when you're in that low vibration, you are actually vibrating on the level of hell. Because you're vibrating from a demonic, low vibrational place. It has nothing to do with Source, the Most High. So then I had to realize there's no point in me giving energy to people that don't know me, to people that have not been around me, to people that have no idea what I really do go through, and to people who just want attention. Because that's all it is. When people choose to focus on you and be negative, especially people that I ain't even never fuck with, it's like they're trying so hard to be oppositional, but what they don't realize, it's just like riding a bicycle with a broken chain. You're going to keep pedaling and you're not going anywhere. It's the same thing. If you have not succeeded in stopping me so far, I don't even know why you continue to try, because all you're doing literally is working against yourself. Because that's how divinely protected I am. Any energy that rises up against me shall fall immediately and be destroyed, never to rise again. And then death and hell will follow your own evil intentions right back to you the minute you even think about it, let alone utter a word or try to plot and put together a plan. My ancestors are already moving on my behalf for my highest good, and I told y'all that not all of my ancestors are nice. So I just choose not to give energy to people that are non-factors. You're not relevant to my life. And I seen this meme that I reshared on my Facebook page that said, let's normalize not confronting everyone who gossips about you because they don't add any value to your life. And just like the other one that spoke about ascension, and how can someone who's in a lower vibration think they're ever going to succeed in coming against someone who vibration supersedes theirs, transcends theirs? You're just going to be like, like how I was when I was a kid, riding a damn bike with a broken chain, not going no fucking where, but pedaling like crazy. So I want the subscribers that, like I said, the ones of y'all that choose to go on these other platforms and defend me, baby, I don't need y'all to defend me. I got a whole angelic order defending me, plus my angels and ancestors and spirit guides. So if you want to watch somebody else's channel to get information that can help me soothe them, great. But if you're watching so that you can engage in their chat with trolls, that's something you are choosing to do. That is not something I'm asking you to do. And quite honestly, I really don't want y'all to do that, because my channel's never been about that. Like, it's cool to roast and do all of that, but the more I go through this medical, the less I care about drama. I really don't like it. I like peace. I favor peace. That's the frequency I like. Peace and enjoying life. So I've gone back to the mindset when I was diagnosed with cancer, thyroid cancer. I didn't give my energy to negativity. That's how I was able to beat thyroid cancer twice with no medication or chemo. I changed my frequency. And in my current circumstances, there are things that I'm putting together to rebuild and restabilize my life and get my health taken care of. And those are the things I prefer to focus on. Instead of, worried about content creators. There's way too many people on YouTube that are not focused on what matters. And if you have a platform, you should be using your platform to make a difference, not to keep up drama. And because I don't want to engage with those channels that love to keep up drama is the reason certain people have called themselves trying to target me. Let me ask every one of you content creators, that have tried to call yourself taking down my channel or coming against me. Has it worked? Have you not seen the way Jaguar's life spun out of control immediately following the fuck shit she did, her and Odell and Maggie and all them on February 9th? Have you not noticed that I had nothing to do with every one of them getting their karma? You know who did? My ancestors. See, I don't have to pray against people. I don't have to do that shit. Now, I will reverse your evil intentions back to you 1000%. If you send negative energy, I'm sending that shit right back to your ass. But that's protection. That's literally spiritual warfare, because people do dark magic against high vibrationals, especially high vibrationals that are as outspoken as I am, especially me exposing the Satanism and witchcraft in all of the industries, not just music. So if it hasn't worked and you're still trying, I want you to fully understand that the very definition of insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different result. You're not going to stop me. I don't care what challenges I'm going through. I thank the Most High God and my ancestors for strength to overcome them all. I had to realize I'm very powerful. My energy is very powerful. Everyone doesn't deserve it. So if you want to deal with drama on other people's channels, that is your choice. But what I hope all of my DzPeepz learn from me is how to rise above all the bullshit and persevere and live your best life and achieve your goals despite the challenges. Like I was saying earlier, if I were to look at my circumstances and that would be the foundation for me having faith, I would have been gave up on life. So the circumstances aren't what you focus on. You learn the lesson from the circumstances. And a lot of times it really is us being tested to see if we are going to persevere through it. Or are you going to give up? A lot of people have been telling me, damn D, if I was you, I would have given up a long time ago. Well, I'm not a quitter. I've always been a fighter. I fight through shit. And because I keep being shown glimpses of my future and premonitions, that helps me to keep going. Because I know that everything I've called in, I deserve it. That is how you manifest. It's because, like, literally, the universe doesn't feel like your emotions and your words. The universe feels your vibration. Going through this period of uncertainty financially and uncertainty with my health, not knowing if these tumors are benign or cancerous, not knowing how to repair myself, what's happening to me, not knowing how to stop it. Again, if I were to look at all of that, I would have lost hope a long time ago. But what I know is that if I trust this journey, no matter how it feels, no matter how it looks, if I trust this journey and I trust that all my needs are met, just like on the You Are Creators, all my needs are met, I am always provided for. That's not just money, family, that's healing. See, what I am overcoming are generational curses. This is stuff that's running my family on both sides. I'm the one to stop it. I believe everything I have prayed for, I deserve. And when you start believing that you deserve it, the universe will start serving you exactly according to your faith. The woman with the issue of blood was healed by her faith, not because she touched Yeshua's garment, but because she believed it. So when I finally am able to get in with the colorectal surgeon and the GI doctor, whatever they tell me, I'm already healed, and this is just simply a part of the journey for me to share my testimony later how I overcame. So I am asking everyone, please stop worrying, because that's not the energy that I need. I don't need energy of panic and anxiety and fear and what's going to happen to you. You know, are you going to be able to take care of yourself? Are you going to end up out in the street? What if you have cancer? Like, I don't need any of that. I want you guys to learn from me. Have faith. And real faith is when you can't see it. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. From day to day, I have no idea how my life's going to go. But I know that I was not brought this far along this journey to just be abandoned by my angelic order, and that everything is divinely orchestrated. Everything is divinely timed. Shout out to Goddess Mercy. I don't know if she's watching right now, but I feel her energy. Sis, if you are watching, I love you very much, and I've been praying for you. You've been in my energy a lot, actually, these past few days, and I've been sending prayers to you, and I hope you feel it, because her energy just came in real strong. If you happen to be watching, just drop down in the chat. Let me know you're here. But yeah, faith is walking. Like, when the story of Christ walking on water, I feel like that's a metaphor. Because who walks on water? That's a human. You know, it'd be one of those things where you are just looking forward to the Most High God and not looking at the fact that you're walking on water, because the minute you realize you're walking on water, that faith is going to leave and that fear is going to kick in and you're going to drown. You're going to fall. But when I imagine Yeshua walking on water, I imagine there is an angelic order that's guiding Yeshua in the water, that's guiding along the path. And the song I'm writing, it's called Let Go and Flow. No, Let Go, what was it? Let Go, Let God. Let Go, yeah, it is Let Go and Flow. I had to get the title right. And so that's what I'm learning through all of this. It's not about worrying. Worry cancels out every manifestation you pray for. It's never about worrying. It's never about lack and self-doubt, and you know, it's I walk in full faith that everything I prayed for is already mine. I've already had my surgery done. Everything has been removed that is causing a problem within my body. I already have wealth, not just of money, but of good health, peace, healing of trauma, breaking generational curses. See, again, abundance is not just money. You are very abundant if you have had the strength to break generational curses that your ancestors couldn't. And that is why they work on our behalf the way that they do, because we are their greatest dream come true. So I want you guys to learn from watching my journey. Have faith, unwavering faith, when you're faced with a lot of trials. James, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation, knowing that the trying of your faith works patience, so let patience have her perfect work. That's the part of my journey I'm on. That's the part of the Monopoly board that I told y'all they showed me in heaven, the sepia colored Monopoly board. And I see the square big as day that says faith, perseverance, strength. It takes a lot of strength to endure physical, I don't want to use that word because that's such a low vibrational word, physical challenges, because I'm not claiming disease. Yes, I was born with Graves' disease, the same autoimmune disease Wendy Williams has. And it's horrible, quite honestly. It really is. And then dealing with the GI stuff on top of that, anemia, these are, again, generational curses. All of this runs in my family, from my father's side and my mom's side. And I am binding up every generational curse and canceling that assignment. That is the reason for this journey. It's not punishment, it's not karma. It's literally to break the curses, to break free, to unlearn doubt, to unlearn lack, to unlearn unhealthy ways of coping and dealing with life after trauma, to unlearn and to work on my reactions. Because again, I am healing PTSD from being raped. And then mixing that with graves that affects my hormones and, causes mood swings and irritability and anxiety. It's like I must stay high vibrational. That's the only way I'm breaking these curses, is to keep my frequency high. And that means staying in a state of peace, meditation, prayer. And I know I'm a different kind of person because I'm not religious. I don't pretend and do the Pharisees, Sadducees, holier than thou. I'm just me, just D. That's why that's the name of my channel. So I'm going to be my human self where I talk how I talk, but at my core, spirituality has been what's gotten me through my life. God, my angelic order, music, my first love, especially gospel music. Doing things that bring me joy, even when I'm in the bathroom having episodes and in pain. Like literally this yesterday morning, I had an episode that lasted until like 6:30. I started listening to music. I started singing while I was sitting there, like hell. Then I started writing music. So it's not about what you go through, it's what you grow through. Grow through what you're going through. And when you recognize growth, celebrate it. Celebrate the areas where you've grown in life. Again, gratitude. Gratitude attracts abundance. Celebrate how far you've come. Celebrate the fact that you're still standing, especially if you're a member of the LGBTQ community, because we all know the difficulty of being excluded and what that feels like. And the fact that we're all still here living in our truth and free, again, free to be network by D, coming soon. It's going to be a platform for every one of us to share our truth, to empower one another, to lift each other up and support one another, because it's so much of the world that still doesn't accept us. And then imagine being black and a female on top of that. Yeah, it's not easy to be me. But I'm going to definitely be me. I keep hearing Flip's Gotta Be Me song in my head every time I say that. I don't know, he might be watching. If so, shout out to you, Freestyle King. By the way, shout out to the Freestyle King and Up Above Entertainment and Corey with the Keys. It's been an amazing experience being able to do the video shoot and connect with everybody. And I'm definitely still in the process of editing all that content from last Sunday. But I want everybody to know, if you are gay, lesbian, bi, trans, asexual, non-binary, whatever title, they, them, whatever title you give yourself, just be free, man. That's the best thing I can say for us as we end Pride Month, is just be free. That's the best. When I tell you that is the best feeling in the world, when you can just live in your truth without worrying about what anyone thinks or what they have to say. I love my relatives, Lord knows I do. But I know what it's like to be the black sheep excluded after coming out. My last girlfriend was the first time I went public about a relationship ever. Like, no one knows about my other relationships because I never have gone public about it because I'm so private. And I'll never forget that. Everybody was cool with me until I started posting us kissing or posting us going out on dates. And instead of them being happy for me, it was a lot of hate, a lot of judgment, a lot of, we don't fuck with you no more. You know, just a whole lot of not accepting me as if now I have some sort of disgusting disease because I date women. I dated women for 4 years. And I'm still attracted to women. I really believe when I get married, I'm going to have a wife and a husband. That's my decision. That's me living free and not giving a fuck about what nobody thinks about it, because it's not their life. And I want to empower all of us. Live in your truth. Don't live for other people. Live in your truth. And be free all the days of your life. And look for places where they accept you. Like Neptune Pisces said, you didn't have any gay friends. Bro, go to places right outside of where you stay. Like, go to, other areas. Like, the fact that Montrose here is such a dope place because it's a huge community in Midtown that's nothing but like all the bars and all the clubs and lounges are all LGBTQ rainbow. They even painted the streets rainbow, which was super dope. And that's one thing I do love about being back here in Houston is when I go to that area, I'm just me. I'm completely myself. When I'm around straight people, especially straight black people, and I'm just being honest, the ones that are like real religious, they always get hella uncomfortable when I tell them I'm bisexual. They always start treating me funny. They always start acting like I got some sort of disease. It's just real weird. So being in environments where everyone's just like you, that's another way we can empower ourselves. Again, go where you're celebrated. Go where you're celebrated. So with that being said, let me go ahead and bring Cody up on the panel. And again, y'all, practice gratitude, Start practicing gratitude. I love how it says daily affirmations here because that's precisely what I do. And that's why when I tell you guys I'm speaking things into existence, I really mean that. I speak into existence my total healing. I speak into existence every dream that I have manifesting, especially me getting my movie out there and being able to continue to share with all of you just what life really is. So I'm grateful to have Cody here with us to share, his experience being trans, to share his experience, what it was like in the military, and going from there. Miss Williams said, D, you're already healed, not in our time, but in the time of the Most High. Our God is an on-time God. Absolutely, and I receive that. Thank you so much, my love. When people come to you with that negative, he said, she said, ask them what did God... Right. Yep. And they be hollering out, woo-woo, blase, blah. He said, she said, oh my gosh, shut the fuck up. If I wasn't congested, I would have sang it, but straight up. So, give me 1 second to stop sharing here. There we go. All right, so Cody. Oh, you got the floor.
Well,
do me a favor. If you have YouTube up, can you mute it? Like if you have YouTube on like a TV or laptop or something?
I don't.
You don't? Okay. I was just hearing it sounds like an echo or something.
It might be my phone.
Okay. Is that a rainbow on your face?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
We gotta celebrate the last day of Pride Month, right?
Right.
Equality.
I love that. I love the tank top too. That's dope.
Yeah. I have a whole wardrobe for Pride. But I've never ever been to a Pride parade. Can you believe that?
I wanted to go to the one here. It was on the 28th, but I wasn't feeling well at all. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that like this next year, or fuck it, just create a Pride parade.
Right. Yeah.
So, do you want to share with us, and it's whatever you're comfortable with. I know that you just watched the movie, and it was good, and some parts were triggering. The part of the movie, they, them, where they hooked the jumper cables up to the guy, How did that make you feel when you saw that?
I felt his pain. I remembered what that felt like, and my skin got tight. I got goosebumps. I started not being able to breathe because I felt like I was back in that being shocked until I because they shocked me until I pissed myself. That's
Yeah,
how much I
that's
was getting
horrible.
shocked. Because their idea of it is if you look at the same sex and you're getting a bunch of pain through your body, you're going to resist that temptation. But science and biology says we can't hide who we are, we can't fake who we are.
Right.
And the sad thing is I was labeled a gay female, but I've always seen myself as a male and straight.
Right.
So I never saw myself as doing anything morally wrong. But my family, being devout Pentecostal and
Right.
being, I had baby boomers for parents. My mom, when my best friend's parents caught us kissing in her room and called my mom drugged me to my grandma's church, and it didn't happen at a camp. I wasn't sent to some camp out, we got to swim, and no. They took me to a dungeon pretty much in the church, down in the basement, hooked me up to electrodes all over my body, and showed flashes of males and females in provocative images. And if I stared at the females too long, I got zapped.
Mhm.
And you can't fake what you. I was like, okay, just look at the men and don't look at the women. You can't fake what you like.
Right.
It's instinct. So of course I got shocked a lot. However, they would have kept going and going for hours had my dad not got wind of what they were doing and barged through the door and started pulling them off me. I was like, "What are you doing to my child?" Luckily, my dad came. My dad was always coming to my rescue at the very last moment. Thankfully, um, and then when I was in the army, I got chaptered out for chapter 15, which, if you don't know what that is when we'd had Don't Ask, Don't Tell before
Okay.
Obama done away with Don't Ask, Don't Tell in 2011.
Can you explain to everybody what don't ask, don't tell is?
It's pretty much the same as Don't Say Gay. So you cannot admit that you're gay. People cannot ask if you're gay. But if you're caught doing gay acts or anything like that, or any type of evidence that you are gay, you instantly get sent home. I didn't get caught doing anything. My first sergeant and captain read letters from my now ex-wife that then was my fiance saying "love your wifey" is how she would always end those letters.
Mhm.
And she told me, she's like, throw them away, throw them away. I was like, I can't throw them away. That's how I stay positive. That's how I keep going, is the idea of you and the kids. And because I got one letter from my bio family the whole time I was in the service. But I got lots of love from her family and from her. So that was my inspiration to keep going when times were tough. And so I had them in my personal drawer. Our drill sergeants weren't allowed to get in that drawer, but our captain and first sergeant had that authority to. And unfortunately, there was a girl in the barracks with me who was flirting with a guy in another platoon, but in the same company. And fraternizing is frowned upon. So they were looking through all of our stuff, looking for love letters from them. And then when they discovered, they totally forgot about those two people, because who cares about straight people? We got to hone in on the lesbian. And at that time I was a stud lesbian, but I always had hopes to one day become a man. I always saw myself as a male stuck in a female's position, and that I always thought that being a stud lesbian was the closest to being, or being a drag king would be the closest. And so when they chapter you out on this big whiteboard in the main CQ, the headquarter desk, where all the drill sergeants' desks are and everything, you have the liaison who has your last name and whatever chapter you're being chaptered out for. Chapter 15 is the don't ask, don't tell. So every drill sergeant, every person, military staff knows what all the discharges are, the chapters are. So this drill sergeant who was fairly new, I didn't know him in basic training, but he was in the new cycle of the new baby privates coming through. And I was on crutches because I got hurt like 2 days before graduation. I was about to graduate from basic training, and I got injured. My knee literally blew from the inside out. I blew my meniscus. I worked it too hard and pushed myself too hard. And so I could not graduate because you cannot walk across the stage on crutches. So I was trying to do PT and do physical therapy and heal my knee enough to graduate and go on to AIT in Texas. However, I could not do that. My knee would not get better, but they had already, I was going to be med boarded, which means that I would have went between what they call the med board, and they would decide how much my injury would have been worth monthly. But because of the chapter 15, that halted, and they sent me home due to that. But they didn't send me home right away. You usually have a 1 week at the return home unit, and that slowly teaches you, because they break you down. They take everything away from you: caffeine, sugar, nicotine, freedom, TV, all of it. And so you slowly start to get those things back at the return home unit, and it's only for a week, and then you get sent home. I was there for an extra 2 months because before that, the drill sergeant, because when you're it's called a holdover when you're trying to either graduate or pass or be sent home. You're called a holdover, and you're pretty much considered the bitches of the company, where you have to do all the grunt work. You have to do the cleaning, whatever it's the bitch work. Because they see you as you are not worthy to graduate, right? Even though I was a model soldier up until my knee blew. Well, I was told to clean the 2nd platoon, the war bay's supply closet, and the rule is that you have to be with a battle buddy at all times. So it's either 2 females, 2 males, or 2 females and 1 male. But a female and a male can never be left alone together. You can never be left alone. You always have to be with the battle buddy. My battle buddy was told to come tell me to go to chow, and went straight to chow and didn't tell me. Well, everyone was at chow. The drill sergeant busted through the door, turned the light off, threw my crutches so I couldn't grab them to use them as a weapon or to run, and pushed me against this makeshift table that is those round giant spools that cables come on.
Yeah.
And that was the makeshift table I was working on, and raped me from behind and said, "I'm going to teach you not to be gay." I got pregnant.
So that was a vaginal rape.
Right, from behind, but it was vaginal, yes.
Wow.
I got pregnant.
I'm so sorry that happened.
And what saved me is in December, I got to have holiday furlough and come visit Jen and the kids here. And so when you're out of the military on furlough, when you get back, you have to take a piss test to make sure you weren't doing anything illegal while you were on furlough. So that proved, and you cannot, if you come up pregnant, then they know you had, because you actually, when you sign a contract, you're signing a contract not to have sex. No, I mean, I'm serious. Like, you literally sign, you can't even, wives can't even go home on furlough and fuck their husbands. Like, that's how much they own you.
That's
And
crazy.
so that, luckily, I had that to say no. In December, I was negative. Come February, when the rape happened, I was pregnant. But to keep me from leaving the service with evidence, I was sent home to return home unit for 2 months. And even though I was on a dead man's profile, which means that I could not be made to do PT because my knee was completely wrecked, I was on painkillers. Like, it was a bad thing. I have had to have many surgeries since then on my knee. Well, they made me do jumping jacks. They made me do setups, push-ups until I miscarried, until I started bleeding.
The military?
Yes.
Oh my god.
The worst part of this is that my captain was a fucking female. And allowed and covered up for this motherfucker and covered up for the military.
Probably because they've done it before and they knew about it.
Right.
Which is horrible.
And then had the audacity the day that I actually finally get to go home, because they went and they what they don't realize is that I grew up only 6 hours away from there, so I knew where I was the whole time. So when they put the bag over my head and took me off campus to off the fort of Lindenwood to go have the DNC at this really rickety clinic, I knew where the town I was in, because I used to vacation up in Hannibal, right next to it as a kid. You've been to Hannibal. You've passed Fort Leonard.
Yeah.
That's where I was stationed.
Yeah.
That's where it happened. So I knew where I was, but they didn't know I knew where I was, because they didn't know I was a local. And so once they had proof that all DNA was out of me, proof that the rape happened, imagine that. The next day I was sent home. But before I was sent home, as I was signing my release papers, and then was going to get taken to where the bus was picking us up, the Greyhound, my captain was like, well, you're not my soldier anymore. You want my number?
What?
Wait, I can't be gay, but you can be gay? Fuck you.
And not only that, the captain didn't protect you from the
right.
Sergeant.
Why would I?
Like, why would you even want to fucking say it? That's weird. That's
fucking
weird. That's real. Yeah, that's all types of fucked up. But you see what I'm saying about homophobia?
Yeah.
You know, I keep saying 98% of people that are homophobic are down low.
Yeah.
They're people who don't want to come to terms with their sexuality, so they do a lot of self-hatred and self-judgment, and then they project it onto those of us who do accept our sexuality. And the thought of shock therapy and rape being a quote-unquote cure to try to get people to not be gay, it's just, one, it's stupid as hell. And then it's very destructive to think that that's the way to handle it. Oh, so you like a person of the same sex? Well, let me rape you until you don't want them no more. And common sense, if you're a female, and unfortunately we've both experienced this, and you get raped by a man, it actually does push you into the arms of women, because you feel like men aren't safe.
Right.
And even heterosexual women I've had this conversation with, you know, they may not become lesbians, but there are some women who, after they get raped, they just don't ever have sex again. They don't want men again.
They become asexual.
They don't want women either. They just are like, I feel like, you know, men are not safe. Now, there are women that rape too, unfortunately. But what you went through in the military, it reminds me of, you know, the L word with the chick that was in the military, and she felt like she couldn't live in her truth, and she had to hide who she was, and try to pretend like she was hetero, and just like on the they them movie, the
Hmm.
blonde girl with the religious
Kim.
family,
Yeah.
yeah, and she's like, I've been trying so hard to be straight, and that's just not who I am, and of course that led to the little sex scene or whatever, but
I was living for them becoming a couple. That was the best part.
seriously, because I felt like, and I'm not trying to be vulgar, when they showed the part where she ate the girl's pussy, it seemed like that's when the blonde girl was set free. Did you feel that energy
Right.
too? It
Yeah.
was like in
Yeah.
that moment, okay, fuck
She
it,
she allowed herself to be fully who she was and didn't
like
fight it anymore.
free to
She
be
embraced it.
exactly.
Yep.
It's like the first time I was with a female, same
Yeah.
thing. Like I was afraid because of the trauma, me being molested by a female from ages 8 to 11.
Right.
I was always afraid of lesbians, and then being raised in church and being conditioned to be homophobic. I
Yeah.
was always like terrified of gay people until I started working with them. And I was like, and I was in church, like deeply rooted in church, but I still was like, man, they're just like us. And of course, none of my
Yeah.
church friends wanted to hear that. I was like, they're just like everybody else. They're not like evil people. There's more evil heterosexual people in these fucking churches than any gay person ever could be.
Right.
Fucking pedophiles and rapists sitting right on the goddamn pulpit, and that's okay. But don't be
Right.
gay. Then you're an abomination.
But despite all of that, I came off the other side
Right.
because I found where I belong, which is Oregon,
Right.
which is pro LGBTQ plus, is normalized here. I found a family that completely accepts me for who I am, and I started testosterone, and I eventually got top surgery, and I am in line to get bottom surgery eventually, and will be fully transitioned hopefully by the end of 2025, if not the beginning of 2026. So I persevered through all the suck and all the shitty feeling. Did I detour a little bit and go into drugs to self medicate? But then I learned about mental health and I got mental health help and I went to NA and I started living a better life. And honestly, because of what happened with the church, because of how I was raised, for the longest time, I fought against God. I
Hmm.
fully fought against. I wasn't like a Satanist or anything, but I was, Wiccan, pagan.
Right.
I was. I did not want anything that had to do or to listen to
Right.
anyone that had to deal with saying that they were Christian
Right.
because
And
of everything I went through. And
right.
the fact is that it was the church that did the conversion therapy.
And yeah, let's speak on that a little bit more, because for a church to think that conversion therapy is somehow a solution to being gay, when there is no way to, you can't
Hmm.
pray away gay, you can't force
Mm-mm.
someone to not be attracted to who they are. For the church to be committing conversion therapy, as well as being accused of sex trafficking minors and doing satanic sexual ritual abuse, is the reason a lot of people do turn to Satanism or Luciferianism, or they turn to the darker side, because the communities that are supposed to be in place, that are supposed to show love, unconditional love and non-judgment, are the very areas where they do the most damage. They do the most damage emotionally, spiritually, mentally. They make you feel like you ain't shit.
Yep.
And so like I said, when I saw Big Freedia on Instagram, saying, hey, trans and gays deserve to be able to be at church too, I could totally see Big Frida starting like a trans gay church.
Yeah.
And there are churches out there like that. Church is nothing
Yeah.
more than just community, because
Yeah.
God's within you. But it's an amazing thing to hear you say that it was, in your experience, the churches that were doing conversion therapy, because again, these are the people that are the bigots. These are the people that are
Hmm.
like the Pharisees and Sadducees. Oh, they're so holier than thou, but they don't talk about, again, the people that be raping and molesting children.
Right.
Like
Like my
I
brother,
keep right,
who's
I
a
keep
preacher.
wondering, why is there so much of that, plus so much ridicule on people who are trans or
Mhm.
LGBTQ plus, but yet children can be kidnapped, trafficked, raped, and all of that. And they never make a big deal about that, even though that's just as damaging. And we both know that because we both are survivors as children as well as adults.
Mhm.
So it takes bringing awareness to this to stop it. You know, it takes
Mhm.
people like you and me to speak on what happened and why is
Yeah.
it that the so-called churches are the worst
Right.
when it comes to people like us. Like,
Right.
let me acknowledge this comment real quick. Yvonne said, Grand Rising D and Cody, love you. I'm asexual and bi. My son is gay and non binary. I love that. And shout out to
Nice.
you, Yvonne. Shout out to you and your
One of
son.
us.
Yes, see, again, this is what it's about. It's about all of us feeling comfortable to literally be free to be and just be
Yeah.
ourselves.
It's
And like I
beautiful.
said, I'm proud of you because I couldn't, like, I've been through a lot of shit, but I just couldn't imagine that,
I was
you know?
16.
Yeah. And to have people putting electrodes on human beings and shocking them with high voltage, it's like I said, it's inhumane. That's like something you would hear a psychopath person doing to like a pet who's fucked up, you know?
Mhm.
So like you've survived so many things that it makes sense why you did the detour. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense
Right.
the
I
self
wasn't ready
medicating.
to hear God like
Yeah.
actually. Oh, until until like
Yeah.
about 2 months before I started coming on your channel,
Yeah.
and that's when I asked God, you know, show me, tell me, do I continue being a Norse pagan, or is my path to fully embrace Yeshua and Yahweh? And I felt this warm light, just a warmth that I want to feel over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I heard him say, "No, that you're on the wrong path. You need to come toward me, son." And so I was like, "Okay, you know," because the question of I was headed to Valhalla when I die with my past religion. My best friend and my other best friend are devout Christians. They're headed to heaven when they pass on. Do I want to be all alone in Valhalla, or do I want to be with all my loved ones who are all Christians, good Christians, and be internally with them? And so I really had to do a lot of, soul searching and asking, where do I really focus my intentions and my high vibrations on, and which road do I choose, the left or the right? And so when I felt that warmth, I knew right then and there I was finally ready to hear God and feel God for the first time, because I have been so um, mentally against anything that has to do with the word God because of everything that I've been through in life. And that was the trauma I had to heal from, and had to separate that that wasn't God, that was people using God in the wrong way.
Right. Right.
And I had to know the difference. And I finally did. And I'm living my best. I mean, yeah, I have ups and downs. I have PTSD. I have a lot of mental health issues, but I'm living my best life. And let me tell you this: the other day, and these are the little short wins that trans people live for. And let me give you an example. Saturday, I was at the local pool with my nephew, and he saw one of his little friends from school, and the mom had the little boy and his little brother, and so we all were playing together, and the mom kept asking the little boy, like, doesn't he look like Uncle Garrett? And I got excited because that meant I passed as a cisgender man at that time.
Right. Right.
And that's the only thing I asked for, is just to be allowed to be male and be left to be me,
Right.
and to be recognized as, oh, that's a male.
Right.
That just happens to be a short male, averagely short male. That made my whole week. Like, that just made me so happy. Like, oh wow, I passed as a cisgender man. Like, that made me so happy. Or when I get a new little chest hair, I get super excited. I only have like 5 right here,
Yeah.
but they're my to me they're my. I always check them in the shower to make sure they're still there.
Yeah.
Because that took a lot of work. That took a lot of years of testosterone and multiple every day taking biotin and biotin creams and stuff. So every little transition is a major thing for us, because it's like, okay, my mark on society is that I have said, you're not going to put me in a box. I am who I am. I'm not apologizing for who I am.
Right.
You can either accept who I am and get to know a really good, awesome dude, or you can come against me and deal with my ancestors.
Right. Right.
But as a Native American, being two-spirited is very common,
Extremely common. Yeah.
and it's seen as being divine, and something that should be celebrated and not discouraged against.
Right.
And so, really, it's honestly about taking those first steps. And if you feel like you're in the wrong body, you're in the wrong body. If Because you know yourself, no one knows you but
Right.
you and
Right.
God. And God didn't make mistakes. He did not make me a mistake. He wanted me to live life as a female so I could know what females go through and be able to say, hey, men, listen, you're behaving completely wrong. This is not how you treat women. This is not how you treat women when they're on their period, because period is not something to make light of. And these are experiences that women generally go through that men don't have to go through. And then the rest of my life, I get to live as the male I was supposed to be, but more open-minded and sincere to women's rights. So I'm got to have the best of both worlds. I got to experience half my life as a female, and the rest of my life I get to experience. I get to grow old as a male. So that's really the best you could ask for, to be able to say, "Hey, I've lived a
Right.
male, I've lived a female, I've lived a male, and I know how each one of them, how the the struggles that each gender faces."
Right.
Which are some are completely the same, but some are completely way different.
Right.
And so I think, to me, that old book, "Women Are for Venus and Men Are for Mars."
Yes.
I honestly think that was written by trans people or non-binary people,
Yeah.
because that's how they knew that women were for Venus and men were for Mars. Because, meaning, we are completely two different stereotypes because of the things that we can handle and what we go through. Because nothing's stronger than a woman. And I'm sorry, nothing's stronger than a black woman. And nothing's stronger than a black trans woman.
You don't have to be sorry. Shit, I appreciate that empowerment.
Um, I actually have a shirt coming in the mail that's to protect the dolls that all the celebrity who are allies are wearing, which I can't wait till that comes, because that's really, to me, because I will admit, being a trans man is a lot easier. Being a white trans man is a lot easier then transitioning into a woman, they have to go through twice as many surgeries. They have to go through voice changing. Testosterone does most of the work for you, and you only have to have about 3 surgeries, and then you're a male.
Mhm.
So it is a lot harder to go from male to female, and I don't think I would have the endurance to go through that because already transitioning to a male is taxing enough on mental and your body. So I've always will give hands down to the trans women, especially black trans women, because it is seen such as a faux pas and as
Right.
a really bad thing that and they do get beat more in
Yeah, oh
public. They
yeah.
do. I mean, Laverne Cox is a big star, and she got jumped, and
I was
her and
just
her
about to
friends,
bring her up. Yeah. And look at where
and she's
she's at
an
now.
actress. She's a millionaire.
Exactly. I actually just saw her in a movie.
I love her.
It was like a major movie. What is it called? Oh fuck, it was on Amazon Prime. But
Yeah,
it's a movie where this lady has like some sort of disorder where she gets really violent. And Laverne Cox played one of the main characters, and I was just so proud to see that because I remember um, Laverne Cox the first time I saw her.
Orange is the New Black.
Yes, thank you. It was on Orange is the New Black.
Yep.
And I was just like, it's dope to see them embracing trans in the industry because, again, especially in our community, black community, being gay is something that's really frowned upon because of what happened to the ancestors, our ancestors during slavery. But it also is rooted in homophobia. You know, it's
Yeah.
real bad in our community. And then there's people that do accept, but there's more people that don't accept than there are people that do. And
Yeah.
so when I seen Laverne Cox living her best life unapologetically, and seeing her in that movie, I was just like, wow, you know, she's a great example of perseverance, just like you,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. And
and
Elliot Page.
yeah, so
Um.
it's amazing.
I have not read it yet, but I do own it. Um. I do have Page Boy, which is Elliot Page's memoir in transition, which I will do once my transition is done. I will be able to write the finishing chapters of my life story, which
Right.
is called Killing Karina,
Okay.
because that was my birth name.
Right.
And so, but I can't finish it until I have my last surgeries and I fully transition, because that's the end of that
Right.
chapter of my life, and then I start anew, especially when I can uh, legally change my name and my gender marker, because I can't do that because I was born in Oklahoma, and because they have such anti-trans legislation, the judge can keep telling me no due to their religious views. So until I am autonomically all male, I can't change on my birth certificate. That's what sucks, because if I was born in Oregon, it would already been done. I just would have paid $250 per name change, and that be it. But because I was born in the Bible Belt, who is very anti-trans, I can't change my name or my gender marker until I am completely done with transitioning with my last surgery. And then
And
that's going to
that
be something to really celebrate.
right. Because the way that Trump is going after trans rights to take away medical care and medical treatment, it's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
know he's only going to be in office for so much longer, but while he's in office, I feel like every trans person hopefully is able to get their surgeries. But for those who are not going to be able to, for them to speak on that publicly, you
Yeah.
know, like, hey, I wanted to go get the surgery, but I was denied it, because of the laws that were
Yeah.
passed. And it's just insane that
And
people are so concerned about other people's sexuality who they're not even in a
right.
relationship with.
And if you're out there and you're watching this and you're trans, LGBTQ plus, especially if you're trans or non-binary, and you live in a state that is anti-trans, try your hardest to make it to Oregon or California or Washington,
Yeah,
Pacific Northwest,
yeah,
because we are a pro-choice state, a right to choose state, and I get gender affirming care, so I get testosterone paid for by the state, not by taxpayer money, by money that is put into a foundation for trans people through donors, just rich ass donors through the kindness of their hearts of allowing us to be ourselves.
mm,
OHSU has charities and charity events that allow trans people and LGBTQ plus people to be able to do in vitro fertilization, all sorts of different things that have to do with building up the LGBTQ plus community and um, making families happen. So, you know, that's how I got out of being in such a mental state of no one wants me to belong, I should just kill myself, to I'm me, I'm unapologetically me, and I'm living my best life. And every Monday when I get a testosterone shot, it's a reaffirmation that I am a self-made man.
so what would you say to those that are watching who haven't reached your level of empowerment yet, those who are feeling suicidal, those who are feeling like because their family, relatives, or friends don't accept them that they're worthless? What would you say to those people?
You will find your tribe. You will find your people. If it's online, if it's moving to a different place, even if it's just moving to a bigger town inside your state that's more progressive, you will make it through this because LGBTQ plus people, we're built different.
Yeah.
We persevere through the suck, and you are beautifully, wonderfully made. You're not a mistake. Be unapologetically you, and fuck what the other people think.
Right.
And you
Well,
will make it.
yeah.
Because if I can make it, you can make it.
Exactly. And that's the thing that's the thing that I love about your journey is the fact that despite whatever ups and downs you went through, looking at where you are now and how far you've come, you are the hope for those who feel hopeless, for those who do feel like they're worthless, for those who do feel like their life isn't worth living because their relatives or their friends or people they've known their whole lives don't accept them. And that's why I really want everyone listening to this live to feel empowered. Like, man, live in your truth.
Yeah.
Literally, just live in your truth. And I think the key is, again, going where you're celebrated, not
Yeah.
tolerated.
And
Because when we,
there's places. There's
right,
you if you do some digging, you can find, it might be your local bar, it might be, you know, a support group online that um you guys meet up every so often or whatever. I'm a part of a lot of different Oregon transgender support groups where we meet up and stuff. I just don't meet up as often because I'm a hermit and like to stay in my house.
yeah.
But sometimes I do, um, as I do some of that as prodding from my therapist.
Hmm.
Um, but there is someone out there for you to celebrate you with, and you just gotta find your tribe. And
Right.
when you do, nothing's gonna stop you.
Right. And I think that's the really beautiful thing about the virtual aspect is there's so many resources. Even like Neptune Pisces was just saying, there's not a lot of gay people in his area. Well, look, get on Facebook, get on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Like
Meet
I
me,
found
yeah.
out that
Hmm.
there's a whole Pride Houston here off of Instagram. I had no idea all the years, I came here and moved back or whatever. Had no idea that that was even a thing out here, So I just want everyone to know that no matter how you might be feeling, if you feel like your life is worthless, if you feel like, because people won't accept you, that just how Cody explained how he was made to feel like, the world's better off without me. Understand in that very moment, you are being tempted to give up on life
Yeah,
when we all have a purpose here. Every one of us
yeah,
has a purpose on this planet. So I definitely appreciate you sharing, not just what you went through, but how you overcame it. And like I said, you're the example of coming through all of the chaos, because your family, same thing. Both of our families, the same thing. We're the black sheep and we get excluded
yeah.
and blah, blah, blah. But like I keep saying, the black sheep becomes the shepherd.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, if you feel like you're the black sheep in your family, you're actually probably one of the chosen, and
Hmm.
you are a person that um, the Most High God wants to use to help other people heal. So embrace being a black sheep. Embrace being the one that's different because we're actually the ones that are breaking the curses.
Right.
And leaders, true leaders, if you look at any sort of, movie history book, every time you see a great story about a great leader, they're always they always end up being in a position where they come from trauma, tragedy, they overcame it, and now they're like leading other people. So
Yeah.
um, I'm going to end the live because one, I need to go to the bathroom again, and because of the time. But I want everybody to know that just because Pride Month is over doesn't mean that we're not going to continue celebrating Pride. There will be more chances where, Cody and I come on the panel and talk about more things. Like now that we've kind of talked about the serious aspect, we can do another live where we, you know, talk about funny moments in our lives that we've experienced with people being LGBTQ, dating the same sex and all that. It'll be more of a open platform, and
Yeah.
because like I've had some experiences that were like, what the fuck, dating women,
Me
and I
too.
know
A
exactly.
lot
So
of you hauling.
right, we can talk about that, and just continue to celebrate living in our truth. So I
Yeah.
definitely want to thank you for joining the panel
Of course.
tonight, and just thank you for all your support of the channel, you being consistent, you being just always there, and even being supportive outside of YouTube. It really does mean a lot to me, and I'm really proud of you. Like, I know for a fact your dad's proud of you, and I wanted to tell you this too. Anytime you start to feel down on yourself because of other, relatives or whatever, just remember that your dad loved you unconditionally no matter who or what you were. And he's proud of you, and so is your ancestors, like Chief Lonewolf. They chose you to be the generational curse breaker, like most of us. So, um, we're going to continue to empower. We're going to continue to uplift for those who are struggling with their sexuality. My platform is a safe place for you. So, feel free to come join in the chat. If you want to share your stories, what we can do like a live panel during one of the lives where I'll extend the link, and different people, different subscribers can come on panel and talk about their coming out experience or just what it was like for them
Right. Like
embracing,
Neptune.
Right, like
Yeah.
once you embrace who you are, like once I just embraced, okay, I'm attracted
Yep.
to women, I have never been more free. And I stopped giving energy to those who, again, I'm tolerating you. No, I don't need anyone to tolerate
Right.
me. I'm gonna be free to be me, and if I like women and I speak about women, it is what it is. And if you don't like it, then you don't deserve to be in my life. So that's what I also want to leave the audience with. Stop worrying so much about what people think about you, and be more concerned about what you think about yourself, and know that you deserve unconditional love, because love is love and attraction is attraction, and you
Yep.
can't help who you're attracted to. So again, thank you, Cody, for coming on panel. Definitely appreciate you, family.
Thank
Let me
you for
turn
having
you
me.
up.
I love and appreciate you so much because you give this trans nobody a voice. And
Correction, we don't speak negative of ourselves.
no,
You will
I
never
know
be a
you're
nobody.
right. I
You are
am
very
not a nobody.
powerful.
Yeah, you're right.
Very.
Thank you for correcting me.
Yes, because I do it to myself too. I'm like, wait a minute, D, don't speak that.
Yeah.
No, but it's because, like I said, I've worked with people before I ever even acknowledged that I was bi. By the way,
Yeah.
I worked with people that were gay that I have had to talk out of trying to commit suicide. And when you first told me everything you went through, I was like, this is really fucked up, you know. And I wanted people like you to be feel free to come to this platform where you're not going to be judged, like I said. And that's why even when Temper first did that bullshit,
Right.
I addressed that and blocked her. um, this is a safe place, so there is no judgment here. And if people are uncomfortable with the LGBTQ community, you probably shouldn't be subscribed to my channel, seeing as how I'm openly bisexual.
Right.
um, and none of us have to pretend to be something that we're not. You know, feel free to be you as long as you are not fucking children and animals.
Right.
I don't care. Those are two things I don't budge on, and we don't support rapists, and we do not support registered sex offenders. We don't
Well,
do any of that. But anybody else, in terms of your sexuality, absolutely. If you want to come on here, and if you want to come to my channel to come out, you can do that too. You know, because sometimes people don't have the courage to come out on their own, channels and
yeah.
pages and social media. So if this is a place where you're like, damn, I can go over there and just be myself, then come on over. And, we're more than happy to have you. So I just realized I missed some comments here. Yvonne said, Pride Month only started yesterday at June 10th.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Because,
Okay.
I keep forgetting we're all on like different times and dates. Thank you so much, my love. Appreciate you.
Thank
And
you.
shout out to all of the DzPeepz that are tuning in. Like I said, I know it's been a while, but there's just been a whole lot going on in my real life. But I want you guys to stay tuned, continue to uplift one another, continue to be supportive, and let's keep praying for the children that have been and or are still being trafficked, that they're found, and that they can, you know, come out of what they're going through and be empowered just like me and Cody. So, we both know what it's like to survive sexual abuse as a child. We both know what it's like to survive sexual abuse as an adult, and we're both still here. Still here,
Yep.
still powerful. So we're living proof that despite, the exclusion, despite all the judgment from other people, which is just projections of the unhealed parts of themselves, we are still empowered enough to stand and live in our truth unapologetically. And that's what I want everybody to leave, this live with, is just live your life. Be beautiful, meaning be
Yep.
you, be YOU, beautiful, so that you can be free and you can live your best life. Andrew said, good show. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you, Andrew.
Thank you, brother.
And I appreciate all of the D's peeps. Like I said, you guys definitely keep me going. And you guys, let me know that, you are receiving something from the platform. And, you know, I love this type of conversation where we can be open and transparent and share our truth, and it empowers others. So, family, I love you guys so much. Appreciate you all very much. And again, to those that would like to support the channel, you can send a donation to Cash App or Venmo. Donations are appreciated. And thank you to those who have posted positive comments. Thank you to those who have sent prayers. I just believe that everything I called in, I deserve it. And I want every one of you to learn that from me, is how to manifest. And when you align your energy is how you're able to start really truly seeing manifestations pop up in your life. So love you guys dearly. Y'all stay tuned. Cody, thank you. I'm gonna drop you down. And thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it. And I just want to thank everybody. Like I said, you know, you guys keep me going, and you guys let me know, hey, despite, you know, negativity from others, there's a lot of people that are receiving positive things and healing. And I appreciate when you guys give that feedback in the comment section, and when you guys send positive energy. Thank you. So family, love you guys dearly. Y'all have a beautiful day and stay tuned. Oh, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't on YouTube. And then don't forget to click follow and subscribe for my Rumble channel. That way you guys get notified, because I know the next live, if I'm able to successfully do the watch party, that will not be on YouTube. That will be on Rumble. So if you're not on Rumble, sign up on Rumble. Let me put my link back on the screen. Give me 1 second. Yeah, make sure you go to Rumble. Look for me, you know, rumble.com/justdshow. Click follow, subscribe. That way you get notified every time I go live, because that will be the platform that I'm going to be, you know, predominantly doing my lives from. So you guys have a beautiful day. And thank you so much for tuning in, y'all.
I thank God. Straight from the mud, now it's time to get the pie.